Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. Join Helena and me, Laura Lee, each week as we take you on an explorative journey of astrology and health, reading charts, talking planetary energies, while educating and entertaining you. We help you navigate the mysteries of the stars and how they affect you personally. Here we go. There we go. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Ram and Goat. I'm Laura Lee.
And I'm Helena, and I think this is episode 4.
I believe so.
I think so.
Excellent. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for joining us. Today's episode, we are going to dive into Helena's solar return chart. You want to tell us what a solar return chart is?
All right. So a solar return chart is an astrology chart that's calculated for the exact moment the sun returns to its natal position, aka where the sun was when you were born. It's a good tool to assess and predict the themes of the coming year. And sometimes the sun goes back to the same position as your natal sun, not on the same day you were born.
Correct.
So for me, I had my solar return on the 28th of July, but my birthday is on the 27th of July.
Yes. I had mine on the 30th of March, I think, but my birthday is the 20. No, it was the other way. My solar return was earlier. So my birthday is the 29th and my solar return was the 28th.
Yes.
So it changes like that.
It can be like that. And yeah, I guess it's like you look at that to see the year ahead, and now we're going to look at my year ahead, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, let's dive in. All right. So we have Helena's solar return chart, and this is not anything what her natal chart looks like. She's actually a Capricorn rising natally, and she's got couple planets in her 12th house, but this year for her solar return, she's a Cancer rising, so completely flipped.
Yeah.
Completely flipped. So my understanding of solar return is basically when we are born, we are creating a contract with the universal energy that exists, right? We come out of our mother and boom, it's like this cosmic energy, collision, right? And I like to think of, have you seen the Trolls movie? When they make a pinky promise and their pinkies connect, there's like this that kind of spreads out. It's a really cool, like, energetic connection, and it's really cute.
I haven't.
And
but
so,
you know what I thought of now? I thought of My Little Pony. You know how all of them have like different imprints
Yes.
on their backs. So
Yeah.
I feel like that could be the chart. Like this, your
I love that.
your astrology chart could be like imprinted on your thigh or something.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it really, and each year you kind of get a new imprint because each year you make this new contract at your solar return. It's like this new energy of like, here's what the year is going to look like. So a solar return chart can be very accurate and helpful for determining what your year ahead is going to be. And for you, you are very much in the Cancer energy realm, which is so opposite of your Capricorn energy, which is why we named this podcast Ram and Goat, because goat is the Capricorn energy that you carry. But this year, you carry in some mothering and nurturing energy with you, Helena.
I love it.
I do too. All right. So what do you see? What's the first thing that jumps out at you when you look at your chart for this year?
It's the Cancer positions. It's I have the Ascendant in Cancer. I have the Moon in Cancer. I have Venus there. Yeah. And just because like we have looked at my chart a little bit before, so it's already sunk in a little bit that I have this Cancerian energy coming up, and I feel so good about it because it's literally what I've been calling in and wanting to step away from that harshness that Capricorn can bring, and that really like the rigidness and sort of it feels like I can be sort of I can and also come off as, because of my ascendant, as very like rigid.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know how to, but I want to like lean in more to the opposite, which is Cancer, which is which is more feminine vibes, more soft and
Yeah.
nurturing. And
Well, and you just said it, I think, perfectly and explained actually in a way that I don't even know if you realize. You said, I don't know how to, but I want to embody that opposite energy, that Cancerian energy. And you don't even have to try because literally the universe is helping you with that this year.
yeah,
It's going, oh, you don't have to really work hard at it. Here, let me just provide that energy for you. It's almost like a waiter bringing you the meal that you didn't even know you wanted. Like,
yeah, yeah,
here's what you wanted, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, thanks so much for knowing
The
that,
best, the
right?
best. Yeah.
And for you, Venus is a prominent player in your chart this year, and Venus represents
True.
the beauty and love and the aesthetics of life and how we go about nurturing ourselves and our relationships. And it's so amazing because it's ruled by both Taurus and Libra. So we've got the duality of love and money when it comes to Venus. So Venus is an interesting planet. It's one of only two feminine planets, which is Mars, or I mean Moon, and Moon and Venus are both in your first house in Cancer this year. Or I mean, sorry, not in the first house. You got first and
In
second house,
Cancer.
but both in
Yes.
Cancer this year. So you really are embodying the divine feminine of that Cancer healing, mothering energy without really much trying. And what I see with the moon here in this the house ruled by Taurus, and it's opposite almost by the exact degree, 27 degrees Pluto and 26 degrees of the moon. That tells me you're going to really be transforming who you are. Like really, this year will be a real transformative event for you, and it will stick. Like it's not just a passing fleeting thing, right? Like it's going to
Yeah.
change who you are at a pretty epic level because Pluto in the eighth house,
Yeah,
girl,
that's true.
that's some deep rebirth and renewal and intense undercurrents going on for you to transform and work hard because Capricorn is all about working hard. So you're going to do the work that it takes to
Yeah.
do the emotional transformation you need. And then that second house energy again is money and stability and finances and the good parts of life, right? Snuggling in with a good movie.
Yeah.
So you're really got some really neat transitions happening for you.
Yeah. And like I just thought of like the moon in the second house because I have sort of been uh make starting to make over my home a little bit, but I haven't like I've had so many other things to focus on, but now I feel like, oh, maybe the moon in the second house will make me actually, because I will emotionally need to
Yes.
have like a safe space at home. So I'm like, oh, nice. Maybe now I can make my home just
Absolutely.
like I wanted. Yeah.
In fact, that's what I see more than anything because Cancer and Taurus actually go really well together. Cancer is the nurturing, mothering energy and the making a home, like the homemaker, right? And
Yeah.
Taurus is all about the structure and aesthetics of the home and
And
how we
the
decorate.
coziness.
Yep, the coziness, how we decorate, the things we spend our leisurely activities, our leisurely time doing, the activities that we do.
Yeah.
So for you, you're very emotionally tied to the structure, foundation, and the aesthetics of your home right now. And I love that because, again, that's just going to keep transforming you. And I feel like for you, the transformation is a very big, like maturing time. Like you're going to be almost leveling up in your maturity. Like it's time to grow up, Helena.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I've
And
been waiting for it. I'm ready.
because Capricorn is very much about being the adult and being the grown up, in which you have those natal placements. But in the eighth house this year, you're really transforming how that Capricorn shows up in a more mature way, in a less judgmental way, more of a soft, right? We're going to lean into this Cancer energy, so more of a soft, compassionate way instead of the harsh Capricorn that it can be. I
Yeah.
love Capricorns. I'm a big fan of them. I'm married to one. My mother is one. My older brother is a Cap Moon and Rising. I have lots of that energy, but they can come off as harsh and judgmental
Yeah.
sometimes, even though they don't mean to.
No, and I get sick of it myself. I get sick of my Capricorn sides, even though I know I also love them because it's I mean I'm great at work,
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that sounded like too
No,
much.
you are great at work, and everybody who's dominant Capricorn has to be okay with that and accepting.
Yeah.
They are great at work. Not necessarily great with compassion, not necessarily great with the feelings, but really good workers.
Yeah, I get things done.
Yeah.
I really get things done. But yeah, and then it comes to this like soft, mushy stuff, and it's like my Capricorn side just wants to find a solution, and
Yes.
it's like and
Fix it. It's the fix it side. Yeah.
yeah,
Whereas your Venus conjunct your rising sign this year, you're only 3 degrees apart, Venus and rising. So it's a really tight conjunction. So when you have Venus there, it's really that karmic connectedness to what you're rising to be, right? So Venus is literally like how you relate with others, how you are in relationship, and your rising sign is like how you present yourself to the world, right? So if I want to have a different rising sign, I just put on a different pair of glasses. Look at, I'm someone else now, right? So your rising sign this year and how you relate with people they're interconnected. You can't separate them. So you are literally rising to relate in a compassionate, healing, mothering way. That's cool. I'm excited for you. And Venus represents money. So girl, hello.
I'm excited for that too.
Absolutely. However, we have to talk about this red line right here between Venus and this giant planet Jupiter. They're about 4 degrees apart, so they're still within the orb of their square. So we got 12 degrees Venus and 8 degrees Aries Jupiter. So a square energy is when it's got a restrictive influence. It's like there's a kink in your hose, right? So it blocks the energy of the two planets from flowing freely. So that's where you can have some troubles and some conflicts. Maybe Jupiter in the 11th house wants you to just play large and do all of the Aries things and not think about other people and not care what they think and just do what you want to do, because Aries doesn't care about people. Not that they don't care about people, but they don't really care about people's opinions, and they still do what they want. So if you got Jupiter up there and that's square to your thinking about others and nurturing others and healing others, like that's some conflict for sure. For sure. So how are you going to deal with that there?
I mean, my Mars is in Aries natally, so I feel like I do have that strong Aries side as well, that I know that like a little bit shy, like I just want to jump into things head first and don't really think so much about sometimes the result or like what's going to happen.
No, Mars is not the planet of thinking first. It's the planet of action. Think about it afterwards. You think about it once you're sitting in jail going, whoops.
Yeah. I mean, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So it's sort of like the little baby of the zodiac. And babies don't really think about the consequences. And then you go all around the zodiac. And then Pisces is sort of like the old grandma.
Yeah. The one who's like nagging at everybody not to do stuff because she's been around for a time or two.
I've seen it.
Yep. Meanwhile, Aries is going to take that screwdriver and put it in the outlet anyway because they want to see what happens and what it feels like to get a jolt.
And I mean, Jupiter in Aries, it feels so much fun. And
doesn't it? Yeah.
It feels so much fun.
I know. It's literally sitting on top of my sun sign right now, so I understand.
Yeah.
But it definitely can cause an issue when it's square to your planet of relationship. Because this is the sign of me and I, and this is the planet of fun and expansion. And that doesn't connect so well with others and love and compassion and serving, healing others. So you've got to deal with that. So what this requires from you this year, the work it requires, is an awakening of tolerance. You have to really kind of zoom out of the picture and go, okay, I want to go do that thing, but is that really in my best interest for healing these wounds or helping this person or, following through with this task I told someone I would do, right? Maybe something fun shows up and you want to go do that fun thing, but your responsibility is to the people you already made the appointment with, or the, you know.
Mm.
So I feel like that's where that might show up, where something will show up in groups in activities, which is the 11th house, right? You'll get invited to go do this or go play with this. Lots of fun activities with groups, but it will probably conflict with some personal responsibilities that you need to do. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But but I mean, yeah, I know. I hear you. And but what about, I mean, yes, we have the square there, but also, I mean, I need both. I
You do.
want to have both.
You
So I
do.
just, yeah, finding the balance, yeah.
Yep. And that's what a square asks you to do, is to
Mm.
strengthen and really work hard to find that balance between the two. It needs you to literally go to the gym and like
Mm.
pump some iron. You have to strengthen your I want versus work with others and heal and help heal and nurture. It's
That
that
sounds like boundaries.
uh-huh. It does sound like boundaries
Sound
there.
like boundaries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's look here. We've got from Venus, we've got a sextile over here to Mars. So you've got a 15-degree Mars and you've got a 12-degree Venus. So it's a really nice sextile. So I like to think of sextiles as the gift that we are dumb about. Like, you are so gifted at this energy this year, you don't even realize that this is a gift. So for you, utilizing Mars in Taurus energy is going to help strengthen this Venus Cancer rising conjunction here.
Mm.
So Mars in Taurus energy is, again, similar to your moon in second house, where you're going to be working on home life and you're going to be working on stability and structure of your life, and probably some financial stuff and getting some scheduling going, right? And having the drive to connect with food or plants or gardening, which you are in a gardening group, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
which makes a lot of
And
sense.
I really feel it calling even more, but more so like getting my own piece of land that I can do whatever I want with,
Yeah.
and like more build something for me.
Yes, absolutely. Which would
Mm.
definitely make sense with Mars in the middle of Taurus for you here, for sure. It's also a couple degrees away from Uranus, and Uranus is all about independence and freedom and being unique and expressing yourself uniquely. So
Yeah.
not only are you driven to kind of be self-sustainable and independent, but you are driven to be unique and have a unique expression around who
Mm.
you are. So that's going to be something intriguing to see how that develops this year for you. How do you see that showing up for you right now?
Uh, oh, do I see it showing up for me right now? It's sort of still all in my like inner dream world, like trying to manifest or manifesting this stuff, like becoming more um, independent of being able to rely more on what I actually physically have, like
Yeah.
growing my own stuff and having a home. And right now I'm living in an apartment. I don't have
Okay.
land, and I just feel like I'm living in this little box. And for so many years, I've been dreaming about this, getting this tiny piece of land and building a tiny little thing there so I can just be there. But is it showing up already?
And it might not
I
show
know.
up consciously because Uranus is in the 12th house for you. So
Oh, that's true.
it may be still in, like you said, you're still in dreamland. Well,
Oh,
12th house
exactly what I said. Yeah.
rules dreams. I was laughing in my head. The 12th house rules dreams. So, of course, it's still in dreamland. Mars made it
That's
into
funny.
your 11th house by like 1 degree. So, it's in your
Yeah.
11th house this year. But it sure is connected with dreams and spirits over there and past life stuff. So I
Mm.
wonder, this makes me suspicious that you maybe have some generational trauma to heal around expressing your unique independence and being your eccentric self and allowing that emotional stuff that is holding you back, like cutting that cord and letting that go.
Mm.
So that's how I'm seeing Uranus in the 12th house show up. There's some generational or even past life stuff that it's time to let go of so that you
Mm.
can move forward with your little unique piece of property in your unique little tiny house or whatever you end up
Mm.
doing, right? Let's see. So yeah, I don't think it'll manifest full out for you right away. I think you're going to linger in that dreamland for a little while. And remember, Taurus is slow moving. So these two energies, because they're square to Saturn and they're square to how you think and communicate, I think you've got some time, right? There's some time for you to really put effort and energy into this. And Taurus will take action, but their action is slow and deliberate and persistent, right? It's the
Yeah.
tortoise and the hare. The tortoise takes its time and eventually wins the race, but it takes its time. So don't try and rush into anything for, whatever you're purchasing or whatever land or anything. Let it kind of manifest in your dreams and let it really come up to the surface and bubble up to the surface and then capture it. Maybe
Yeah.
you create a Pinterest board with all of your ideas. And maybe you start creating a spreadsheet where you have like what would be the steps the actual logistics of the steps I need to take, right? Maybe number one, I need to find a realtor. Maybe we manifest that first, right? Or I start putting it out there to my friends and family that I'm looking for a small piece of land, right? So those like logistics things I think will start to manifest. That's what Mars does. But again, it's in Taurus. So don't rush.
Yeah. No, no rush. But it's in the 11th house, so I'm thinking maybe I should find a way to do this with community in some way at this building, because I'm doing this gardening stuff,
Absolutely.
like I said, with like a little community. So maybe I can find a similar thing for learning how to build.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. And utilizing your community. Look at all of this 11th house stuff you have. You got Mars, then you've got Chiron and Jupiter and Neptune all in the 11th house. So community is really important for you this year. That's where your spirituality is going to come from. That's where your fun and drive and excitement and expansion and good luck is coming from. You're also going to use your community to heal your wounds and gain some confidence around there. And then you're going to use community for your drive and ambition to get what you want in life. And Taurus loves to get what they want.
Oh yeah.
They love it. So I think for you, community is absolutely essential. And that could be your online community. That could be your work community and your garden community. Multiple communities, right? You don't just pick one. Aquarius can't do one type of anything. So 11th house is that Aquarian energy. Lots of different things, right?
Oh, I love
When you
everything
have
about that.
when you have a Mars square to Saturn, that's not an easy energy. That's actually probably, if I had to say what's one of the toughest energies there is, I would say a Mars square Saturn energy is probably one of the most challenging energies to strengthen, because Saturn is all about taskmaster, follow the task, stay diligent, stay focused, father time. And Mars is what we want and our drive and ambition, and it just doesn't want to follow the rules, and it wants to just fight and do the shit it wants to do.
Yeah.
And Saturn's like, actually, just a minute, right? So I feel like Mars is like the teenager and Saturn is the principal. So you've got the teenager who wants to do their own thing and because they're smart and they know what they need to do. And the principal is going, well, let me tell you some things.
Yeah.
And you've
So
got
true.
Saturn in Aquarius, and it's right next to your rise or your MC this year, which is the house that starts your career house, your 10th house. So Aquarius is all about weird, eccentric, independent, unique thought. Lots of thoughts. Lots of thoughts. Just constant flow of thoughts. And those thoughts might conflict with what your drives and desires are. They might not be in a harmonious fashion. And Taurus and Aquarius are both fixed signs. So they're not really good at compromise. Like Aquarius can be, But
I have a fixed T-square.
you do have a fixed T-square. I was going to say, but it's opposite Mercury and Leo. So it's not a full opposition because we got 23 degrees and 16 degrees, but still it's enough to take note of. But
Mm.
for you, I think for sure you've got to recognize that this energy between Uranus and Mars, square to your hard-working planet, is something to really focus on. Your career is going to require diligence and effort, and however you decide to put energy in, whether that's the work you're doing right now or whether that's starting a new career, it's going to be work. Not bad thing, not a,
Mm.
it doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong, but you'll have to put in the work. Go to the gym, strengthen your muscles.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
ready.
you're ready.
I feel good.
So yeah, Saturn is very good at helping and supporting, very good at being supportive when you follow what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. You need to become friends with Saturn,
For
and that's not
sure.
always easy because
Yeah.
it's about our like toughest challenges, and it's not always we want to face them because
No, yeah, it determines whether you're successful when the work is done or whether you're going to fail because you don't want to. If you want to go sit in detention all day, Saturn will help you and put you in detention and make you write lines and make you, like you will have to do the work eventually, whether you want to or not. Saturn will make sure you do it.
Yeah.
Like he's the judge and jury. He just is. So that's your work ethic too, and a work ethic in Aquarius. All right, so that's an interesting one because Aquarians are quite independent and rebellious. So if you have your work ethic planet that demands consistency and staying on task and following rules and being disciplined, and it's in the sign of rebellion and unique expression and doing things that don't follow rules, you already have some challenges there to begin with. And then on top of that, it's square to Uranus. So again, we've got some past life stuff to deal with because that's really like hard work, square to Uranus, which is in the 12th house. So I think you've got some deep generational stuff to let go of and some past life stuff to let go of for sure this year. Absolutely.
And I'm feeling really pulled to that stuff too.
Yeah.
I've never done like a past life regression, but I've been interested for some time now, like a year, but more so like the last couple of months. I've been really getting more and more interested, and also learning. I'm learning way more about my family, about my forefathers, things that I didn't know about before.
Nice.
And and that's really cool. And like about this like building my own place stuff, my dad's grandma, she during the Second World War in Finland, she built her own house, like not with her bare hands, but she got it done. Like her alone was managing getting built this huge house that she then rented out rooms to others, and she also sold alcohol illegally in the basement, like had
Granny
party lot. Yeah, I know. And somehow I feel pulled to her because I'm like, she was so cool, like so independent and doing her own stuff. And like I have this picture of her where she's standing outside the house, like painting the wall.
That's
like,
awesome.
Hard work alone. Yeah.
That actually goes along with Uranus in the 12th house in Taurus. It really fits that story well. Granny building her home, creating her structure, and she's would be the 12th house would be grandma, right? And then her independent and rebellious streak of you can't tell me I can't do this, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Nice. And you said you're just learning about this now, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've got the connection between Mercury, which is how we learn, and it's in the 3rd house of communication. So you're going to be learning a lot, probably about past family members and generational stuff. And then you're going to take that learning you do and communicate that out into the world. Leo is very much a, put things out there kind of sign. So this year you're going to be really communicating in a Leo fashion with sharing this information. And oh, that's wonderful.
Hmm. And that was another thing I was very excited about in this solar return chart, because natally I have Mercury in Cancer. So how I think and communicate in this water sign that is like wanting to hide a little bit behind the shell.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has been a tough one for me as well.
Yeah.
So having Mercury in a fire and in Leo,
Yeah.
that feels really exciting to
It
me.
gets
I'm
much
really
more
excited.
compatible with your sun sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, because when you have Mercury is never more than 2 signs away from our sun because it orbits so closely. So it's either in the same sign or one of the signs, before or after. So for me, I'm an Aries sun, but my Mercury is in Pisces. So for you, it's the same thing. You're a Leo sun and your Mercury's in Cancer. And that's not always a compatible situation for one sign and another sign right next to each other. So sometimes is tough when the sun is your life force and your self-expression, but the way you communicate and think is in this weirdo, fishy, watery sign, but your life force and self-expression is in this bright sunshine, So it can get frustrating and confusing in your head. I feel this. I feel this. But this year it's much more compatible for you. Much more compatible, and you will really feel driven to communicate what you learned and what you take in. I mean, third house is just like continue to communicate all of the things you're learning and don't stop. And it's trine. So if we follow this blue line, it's trine up here to Jupiter. So you've got a Jupiter in a fire sign, Aries, trine to Mercury in a fire sign, Leo. So you got extra oomph behind your communication planet to help you with knowing what to communicate and knowing how without getting over the top, right? Jupiter can sometimes get over the top, but I think that and Leo can too. But
I was gonna say,
I think the trine between the two is really a helpful energy where you can almost like turn the gas on or off, right? Like you can turn it up and really go fast and really get a big fire, or you can turn the knob back and pull it back to like a nice warm candle. You don't have to blow everybody up.
yeah. And I mean, if I have that, I have like all this fire, but my ascendant is Cancer.
Yes.
So it's like, even if I have this, the way I communicate can be fiery and like out like that.
Yeah.
It will go through this sort of lens of the Cancer energy, which is so much softer. So maybe I'll get away with it.
Maybe you will.
I think I will.
I think you will. I really do. And if you look at your elemental chart down here, we've got fire, air, earth, and water. You don't have much in air signs this year. You've got Saturn and then your career house, your MC. So your communication area, air is the way we intellectualize and think about things and communicate. It's a little bit underwhelming this year. So what we need to do is utilize your sun and Mercury in the third house, which is ruled by Gemini. So you're kind of got this energy of Leo, but it's kind of coming out in a Gemini area. So you'll really be more focused this year on communicating effectively and getting your point across in a healthy way. Because again, Cancer is all about healing and health. So I think that's really going to be helping you with that Cancer lens to help heal any miscommunications. And you probably will get away with saying some very bold things. And then maybe ask forgiveness or kind of, like soften it with the water. Like burn people, but then throw water on them right away.
Yeah. That was nice, wasn't it? With the water on top.
Right. Here, let me heat you up. Okay, here's your water. There you go. There, now I cleaned you off. And you also have your sun connected all the way up here to your Jupiter as well. So you've got some amazing Jupiterian energy with the way you show up in that sun, that ego and that life force and your personal power. And Jupiter's like, let me help you with more good luck and expansion.
Mm.
And I mean, like, how lovely can you get? That's just fantastic.
Amazing.
I'm a big fan of Jupiter. I like it. It's fun. I know some people can get a little, it can get too much. It can get a little obnoxious sometimes, but I think for the most part, Jupiter always usually means well. It's benevolent, right? It's all about opportunities and happy and fun. There's a little bit of risk taking, and it's kind of where that fun factor is in life. But you know, that's something I think a Capricorn dominant person needs more of in their life, for
Oh my
sure.
God, I do need more fun. I can be so serious.
Has anyone accused you of being too fun?
Never. Never. I was such a serious child. I remember going to the toy store and those times where my mom was like, what do you want to, like, which one would you like to have?
Yeah.
Or like, which candy would you like to have? And I would look at the prices and I would always say, pretend that I wanted the cheapest one.
You're funny. That is such a child Capricorn thing to do.
Yeah. So lame.
So unfun.
So unfun.
Oh, that's so great. I love that. So you definitely need this Aries Jupiter energy this year and that beautiful. I always think of these trines. You've got two trines from Jupiter shining on your sunshine and shining down on your Mercury. I like to think of Jupiter as the spotlight of good luck and good fortune. So, you know, you're getting that happiness factor just injected into your Leo sun and injected into your Leo Mercury. And then that happiness factor kind of filters through your mothering Cancer energy. It's just kind of a really beautiful combination. You definitely could use some extra dose of fun in your life, though.
I feel like I want to swap my natal chart to this one.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Well, at least for this year I can.
That would be awesome. I wonder if we can. That would be like, can I just trade this out, please? Excuse me, universe.
I don't want my karma. I want to switch my karma.
I'll take this stuff.
I'll take this one's karma.
Oh, that's great. I love that. I love that. I don't know, girl. Pluto in the eighth house in Capricorn might be some tough karma. Whew. That could be some tough. I mean, that's your not visible energy. That's your destroy or create energy, and it's in the eighth house, ruled by Scorpio and Pluto, and so you've got to get at that secrets and those undertones and that undercurrent.
And I have that natally as well. I have it in my eighth house, also natally.
Pluto's in your eighth house natally?
Yeah.
Oh, is that interesting?
Mm.
Huh. That is an interesting thing that didn't change this year. But it's not in Capricorn. What sign is it in? Do you know?
Scorpio.
It is in Scorpio. Okay.
Yeah.
This year, Scorpio starts, it's halfway in your fifth house of fun and play, but it starts your sixth house off. So Scorpio starting your sixth house of health and being of service to others and day-to-day work and routine. So you've got quite a big sixth house this year. It encompasses Scorpio, all of Sagittarius, and a little bit of Capricorn. So you've got some really interested blended energies with your day-to-day work and routine and your health. Yeah. But I feel like your health will remain really well, really good. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So we've got that kind of Jupiterian energy here. So I feel like your health will be pretty darn good, but you're going to want to go deep and address some of the lingering issues that you've had.
Yeah.
Right? And then Capricorn up here can help you with the structure and the discipline you need. Maybe you need to do more meditations or more yoga practices, or you need to take daily walks, right? You need to have the structure. And Sagittarius is about traveling. So maybe you need to do some astral travel with your mind or some physical travel and go hiking, right? But the physical exercise of the day-to-day is important for your health. And going deep and solving some of the health issues or health mysteries you've dealt with would be a good thing to do this year for you.
Okay, yeah, good. Because I feel like I've been the last few years I've been sort of trying different health approaches,
Hmm.
and I sort of feel like I've matured a little bit in my thoughts around what worked for me and what didn't work, and where should I go back, like
Yeah.
where should I go deeper. And
Yeah.
also this stuff, like yesterday I went swimming, and I've told you before, like I almost drowned 3 times in this life, and
Yes.
I'm sort of a little bit scared of water now. um but I've been going swimming a lot this summer, and I feel so like this much more like safe presence of the water. I feel like I really feel the presence of the water. And yesterday I went swimming, um or I went like we went to have a sauna, and then like just jumping in the lake. But I ended up swimming to the other side of the lake,
Yeah.
and I've never even tried or thought about it before, because it would be too scary for me. Because what about like what's underneath me, and what about if I drown? And but now I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I'm gonna swim over there. Like, see you later. Just like swimming across,
And there you
and
are.
and it was amazing. And now today I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should take up swimming as an exercise. Like I get the water and I get the exercise, because I felt great after that.
So, what I see with that is you've got Neptune in Pisces. And Pisces is about healing, specifically on a spiritual level. And I know you and I have talked before that you felt like you've drowned in one or more past lives. And
Mm.
so, with this healing energy of water, and it's also got a sextile to Pluto. So you've got this, again, kind of like this dumb gift. Like you have this gift, but you're like unaware that it's there. So you
Mm.
are able to heal on a deep, deep transformative level. And again, with that water energy. And it's also trine to your moon in Cancer. So you're emotionally able to heal. So you've got
Mm.
healing and spirituality and deep transformations all interconnected. So I think this is a good year to let that fear of water and that drowning
Mm.
energy and all of that go. Like let it go behind you and recognize that's not you going forward now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Neptune.
Yeah, thanks, Neptune. And it's so strange how like such a thing that I almost never think about, that I have this thing with water. And now when I'm changing my relationship to water,
Yeah.
I feel stronger. I feel so much more secure in myself, because I was able to feel secure in such a big, vast thing.
Yeah.
So it just made me feel like, yeah, like my presence was stronger.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Absolutely. And that makes so much sense, especially, I mean, Pisces is so much healing. I mean,
Mm.
just so much healing. And I like to think of it as like a bigger more than just our body, right? Like it's healing on like a broader perspective, a broader level. So, but Cancer I like to think of as like our emotional healing and our nurturing of ourselves, how we nurture ourselves. And Scorpio's water healing, my opinion of it is that's where we go deep within ourselves and we dredge up all of the sentiment and yucky stuff at the bottom, right? All
Mm.
the stuff that's settled down to the bottom, and we dig that up and we clean it out. Like maybe we run it through a couple filters and we get some of the garbage out that isn't good anymore, that's settled at the bottom of the
Mm.
lake, right? So that's like the deeper stuff we have to address. And Cancer is more like the nurturing of the heart and the nurturing of the spirit. And then Pisces is connects to that spirit in a bigger way, like out
Mm.
there more. And that's my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on the various water signs.
No, for sure. Like for me, Scorpio is definitely that super deep. The deep is the underworld,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And I feel like when you said like taking up like stuff from the bottom of the ocean, and sometimes things at the bottom of the ocean can look a little scary. Like you bring them up and they're like maybe biting at you like little clams. I don't know. I feel like when you bring up Scorpio stuff, they can look like a little aggressive, like ah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you ever watch some of those nature documentaries and you see some of the creatures that are in like the real deep part of the ocean, they look freaky. They are weird
Yeah.
alien-like creatures, and you're like, I can't even believe this thing exists on our planet. But that's kind of what scorpionic energy is. It's dark and strange and sometimes a little scary and doesn't always make sense.
Mm.
And you get to start your sixth house in your day to day work and routine with that kind of energy. But it's also
Yeah.
in your fifth house of fun and play and creativity. So you get to have some Libra energy this year in your fifth house, where Libra is all about the arts. Oh, girl, music should be in your life on an epic level this year. Libra loves music, and fifth house loves to create it or play it
Mm.
or go see a band, local bands on the weekends or something.
Mm.
But definitely do something creative around music and going deep. Maybe you do some music mantras or something. You create your own meditations. I don't know what you create, but it's
Yeah.
definitely structure and health related with Virgo. And then it's one on one relationship and harmonious and peacefulness, but music oriented. And then it goes deep and gets at some of those real deep feelings that you haven't addressed in a while.
Mm.
So even though there's no planets in your fifth house and there's no planets in your sixth house, I actually think they're really relevant because of how big they are and how much they cover
Yeah,
of the signs.
for sure.
You still have creativity in you whether you have planets there or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, such an interesting solar
And
return chart.
yeah, and I mean the from the T square, as you guys can see, the T square is like, yeah, it forms sort of, it forms a triangle, like half of a square,
Yep.
and it's missing a leg, and the fourth leg would end up being in Cancer. In it
And
depends
Scorpio.
if you go from, oh, sorry, in Scorpio, and
Yeah,
either
but
in the fifth or sixth house, depending on if you go from Mars or
or
Uranus.
Uranus. Yeah, it would be right actually fifth and sixth house if you went
Yeah.
used Mars or if you used Uranus. So
Mm.
yeah, for sure. So that would be what I like to think of these T squares is you're missing a leg for the table, right? Or the foundation of your building. You've got three legs, but you need a fourth leg to kind of make that balance and create that structure to build your legacy on or build your building off of or whatever you're creating. So for you it's energy in the scorpionic areas where you have to consciously put your energy. You have to
Mm.
consciously pull out Scorpio stuff and work on
Mm.
Scorpio stuff to help balance this square for sure.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you like to do Scorpio stuff? Is that up your alley or do you usually avoid that?
I think both, because I mean it's exactly what I want and what I feel like, because I know it's transformation, and I'm always looking for transformation because I do natally have Pluto in the eighth house in Scorpio, so I'm like, yes, I want that because I know what it can bring.
Yeah.
I had Pluto going over my moon and my ascendant
Yeah.
like 6 years ago, so I know that it can be really tough. It is really tough. It's super tough, but it brings something really, really sweet and beautiful afterwards.
Yeah.
So I always want that. But also the other side is, I know the hard side of it, so
I
I
know.
sort of don't want to deal with it.
I know. I know. Well, Helena, I love reading your solar return chart. Do you have any other things you want to cover?
Um, I mean, the true node, the north node in the 12th house. What would you say about that? It's not aspecting anything. Oh,
It's
actually, it's
it's right
conjunct.
under Uranus there.
Yeah.
So I feel like your north nodes are something I don't typically dive into deeper until people are
Mm.
like a little bit older. That's like a longer thing that like
Mm.
your soul is kind of rising to, right? Like that's like
Mm.
your karmic leveling up. So I don't know. Do you think they're relevant in solar return charts? I mean, they probably are a little bit.
Um, yeah, I would say they're probably as important as in the natal chart for me, or maybe that's because I am really interested and intrigued by the North Node, and I guess for me, the solar return is my North Node, like my karmic sort of um everything that's that's supposed to happen for me is sort of in the underworld right now. It's not really, I can't really see it. It's sort of nebulous. And
Right.
that's fine.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might not notice it this year because it is hidden from you in the 12th house and
Yeah.
it is underneath that Uranus energy, so of that chaos. So
Yeah.
it might not even be a relevant position for you this year, but maybe later on once the planets are moved away from it or it's out of the 12th house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much for this. This was so
Yes.
so nice. I feel really pumped. I have a good feeling in my stomach.
Me too.
And
I'm so excited for the money coming in for you with
yeah.
Moon in the second house and Venus rising. Oh, girl. Some like I can't wait to hear about all the love and money and everything flowing into you. Woo! It's a good year. It's a good year. I love doing solar return charts. I hope to be able to help people more with this because it's something that I think is helpful to know what's in store for the year ahead. Now, we didn't predict anything. Like, yes, I'm saying money's probably possible. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but the energy is supportive there. The energy is there, and you working on your healing and all that. The energies can show up in so many different ways, and I think that's kind of the exciting part about astrology. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And this helps like me knowing that I have this going for me, so I can lean into those things more. So that's sort of why these readings are great.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you for doing this reading with me today, Helena. And if any of our guests are watching that want to be part of the show, just shoot us an email and we will be happy to get you on the show for either a solar return reading or a natal chart reading or even diving into relationships. That's something we're going to be taking on here soon, too. So
For sure.
thank you for joining us today.
And also, if you want a reading that's not on the show, we do those as well.
Yes, we'd be happy to do private readings as well, where you get two astrologers reading for you, so you get multiple different viewpoints.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Take care. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to be a part of our show or have a personal reading done with us, email us at ramgoatastrology@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear from you. See you next week.